Welcome. I'll be reacting to Star Trek The Animated Series, Season 2, Episode 2. This is not a market substitute. Support the original on Paramount Plus. Engage.
Sensors report several groupings of Aborigines. These monitoring devices have to be planted. Now, if there's any trouble of any kind, beam up immediately. Don't try to be a hero.
Aye, sir.
You were assigned to this ship as an independent observer, yet you have spent the past 6 missions in your quarters. You haven't done any observing at all. Until now, when we're dealing with possibly a very dangerous planet.
Maybe he's just an introvert.
This is an odd time to remain adamant. All right, let's go.
I like them already.
There's a planet waiting for us.
I totally understand wanting to just stay in your quarters until something interesting happens. What was that? Ben, what are you up to?
Lieutenant Arex has been tracking a non-network sensory stasis. It's hardly more than a flicker.
No discernible direction.
We've seen unidentified planetary phenomena before that have resembled intelligent activity. We must take care not to be seen. Hey, Bam! Bam, come back! Scotty, Sulu, stay here with the monitoring devices. Come on, Spock.
This is a great planet. That is so cool how he can just detach stuff.
The captain is not answering his communicator, and it does not show up on the scanning grid. It's as if its responder has been disconnected. Landing party, prepare to beam up.
Lieutenant Uhura, we could track the captain down.
I'm sorry, Mr. Scott, that's not procedure.
Uhura is just being cautious.
This isn't my communicator.
These are not Enterprise communicators, Captain. They are fakes. Excellent, but non-working forgeries.
But Commander Bem's difficulty appears to be genuine. Phases or not, we have to rescue him.
These Aborigines
It is a
appear to be in
beautiful
late
planet.
primitive state.
We're rescuing you.
You are interfering with observations.
This is how you observe, by being captured.
As logical a way as any, Spock, Commander.
I don't think Starfleet would approve. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
How come we always end up like this?
I assume that's a rhetorical question, Captain, not requiring an answer.
Planet Pandro will be much displeased. Starfleet told us you are best captain in fleet. Actions to date belie this.
Commander Bem, you are responsible for the situation we are in. You disobeyed orders by running off.
This one does not demean oneself by the use of casual violence to accomplish goals.
Interesting.
But disassemble.
Fascinating.
Consider yourself under arrest. Protective custody. To keep you from any more escapades. Mr. Spock, keep watch.
Bem is awesome.
No, do not use your weapons.
I'm paralyzed.
We're held in stasis, Captain.
Put away your weapons. What gives you the right to intrude here? My children are not for your tests. Your weapons will be nullified.
There are times, Mr. Spock, when I think I should have been a librarian.
The job of librarian would be no less challenging, Captain. But it would undoubtedly be a lot less dangerous.
Well, not being the librarian.
I told you this bridge couldn't possibly support our weight!
I think I've watched too much Star Trek because a disembodied, powerful alien voice freezing them and speaking from the sky just seems completely normal.
Pandro will not have dealings with inefficient and inferior species. You have failed everything you have attempted. You have not rescued this one, and you have not been able to handle local aborigines. One wishes you, what is the Earth word? Luck. You will require it.
This is Captain James Tiberius Kirk calling the ruling intelligence of this planet. Do you hear me? Kirk to entity. We did not realize the situation. We will leave. We will tell others of our kind not to bother you here.
This is good. Go. Go now.
We're not leaving without Bem.
But not phaser rifles, right?
Captain, are you all right?
He just made a deal with the intelligence of this planet who doesn't like weapons, that they would simply leave. She grants him the ability to contact the Enterprise, and he brings down a heavily armed party. If I were her, I would just be like, because he broke his word. He should have told them no weapons, at least.
Phasers on lightest possible stun setting. And don't fire unless absolutely necessary.
Kirk, you're breaking every rule.
This one has failed in its judgment.
You have endangered all of us by your actions, and you have forced us to interfere with the natives of a planet that deserves prime directive protection.
You are still here?
Yeah.
You are still interfering? I am angered.
We could not leave
Yeah.
one of our own behind. It is our responsibility to take care of our own, just as it is your responsibility to take care of yours.
The lost one is found then?
He is found, and we will leave.
This one has greatly erred. This one must disassemble unity,
Disassemble?
never to exist again as a cooperation.
Oh,
This unity is defective.
no.
No.
Huh?
Do not destroy yourself. But if you disassemble, you cannot learn from your error. Errors demand recognition so that they will not be repeated. What is punishment?
Oh, wow.
Revenge? Intelligent beings need no revenge. Punishment is necessary only where learning cannot occur without it. You
Wow.
are behind that.
She really is
Kirk to Enterprise.
at another level.
Beam us up.
And very wise.
Almost a god, you might say.
Mr. Spock, the difference is meaningless. In comparison, we're all still children.
In this one's case, Captain, this one is still an eggling.
Take us out of orbit, Mr.
You have learned much. Be proud.
This is the kind of planet where I would love to come back in the future and see where they are in their development. When Discovery first went to the future, I honestly would prefer that they go back and visit a lot of these planets that were brought up early on to find out where they are now and what happened. Kind of like what they did with Trill briefly. I get it that there's this big epic storyline, but you know what? A lot of us just want to find out what happens after episodes like this. Because it's really interesting having this incredibly advanced entity who's basically just making sure this planet is left alone, and also maybe hoping that she can bring up this particular society to work together and be less violent, hopefully, in the future. And she's just being really gentle and careful about it. Beaming down a heavily armed security team like that, I don't know. I feel like there was a lack of judgment there. Even though the entity understood the thought process behind it of you have a crew member missing, you have to go after them. It was interesting seeing a colony creature like that with several beings in one, and how he kept saying this one, because to disassemble, I guess, would mean all those little pieces would go off either on their own or with a separate body, a separate head, separate arm, and they would never come together as that particular being ever again. I mean, can you imagine your arm just deciding, I'm just gonna go off on my own now, and just bloop, go off? I have to admit that this would have been a lot more disturbing had it not been for the much creepier labyrinth pink puppets. Those still freak me out. This was a much better version of that. Overall, this episode was absolutely fascinating. I could have happily seen it as a two-parter to learn more, both about that planet and the entity, and also the commander's people. I really liked this one. See what I did there?